In 1941, during the Nazi occupation of former Yugoslavia, Sarajevo fell under the control of a regime that actively persecuted Jews. This was one of the darkest periods in the region's history. However, even in such moments of isolation, people were willing to risk their lives to save others. The story of Muslim women who used their hijabs to cover the yellow stars of their Jewish neighbors reflects an incredible strength of solidarity. This act not only symbolized compassion and friendship, but also became a challenge to the economic system imposed by the Nazis. The woman realized the danger of her actions. Hiding Jews meant risking arrest or death. Yet, she chose humanity over fear. Maud Wagner, born in 1877, became the first woman recognized as a tattoo master in the United States. She began her journey not as a tattoo artist, but as a circus performer, working as an aerial gymnast and acrobat. It was at one of the fairs that she met her future husband, Gus Wagner, a tattoo artist and master of hand tattooing. This meeting changed her life. Maud not only became interested in the art of tattooing, but also learned the craft from Gus. The uniqueness of her work lay in her practice of the hand method, known as stick and poke. This approach required great skill and patience, especially at a time when electric tattoo machines were starting to become commonplace. Simone Seguin, a young girl from Chartres, became a symbol of courage and determination during the liberation of France. At just 18 years old, she joined the resistance under the pseudonym Nicole Minier, seeking to contribute to the fight against Nazi occupation. Despite her young age, Simone quickly established herself as a fearless and determined fighter. She participated in partisan operations, such as sabotage on railways, attacking enemy patrols, and capturing enemy equipment. On August 19, 1944, during the height of the liberation of Paris, Simone took part in street fighting, armed with a submachine gun seized from the Nazis. Sarala Thakral made history as the first Indian woman to receive a pilot's license, becoming a symbol of progress and women's emancipation in the country. In 1936, at the young age of 21, she took to the skies, piloting a light two-seater aircraft, the Gypsy Moth, and earned her private pilot's license after 1,000 hours of flight. This feat was extraordinarily daring for the time, given the social restrictions faced by women in India. Public libraries during these years were symbols of progress and knowledge. Women, dressed in modern attire, could freely visit such institutions, studying literature, history, art, and developing professional skills. This era was seen as a time when women played an active role in Afghan society, reflected in their contributions to education, medicine, journalism, and other fields. The first women's college basketball team at Smith College, formed in 1902, became a symbol of women's aspirations for physical development and equality in sports. The Smith women's basketball team followed somewhat simplified rules to align with the notions of proper behavior for women in the early 20th century. They played indoors, as public athletic activity for women was considered taboo. Despite this, basketball became an important step in overcoming gender limitations. In the late 1800s, at the close of the samurai era, Japanese women warriors, known as Onibugeisha, remained a vibrant symbol of martial tradition and valor. These women belonged to the samurai class and were typically trained in swordsmanship, archery, and other combat skills to protect their families and holdings in the absence of men. Although by the end of the 19th century the role of samurai women in combat began to wane due to social-political changes of the Meiji Restoration, these images served as a reminder of a bygone era when Onibugeisha played a key role in defending their clans. Such photographs became a sort of historical document reflecting Japan's transition from a feudal system to a modern era where traditions clashed with a new reality. In 1933, an unusual scene was captured on the rooftop of a building in Los Angeles: women boxing. This moment reflected the changes taking place in society. During the Great Depression, physical culture and sports began to be seen as a means of maintaining health and combating stress, and boxing, once considered an exclusively male pursuit, began to attract women as well. A photograph taken in 1985 in the Swedish city of Växjö captured a powerful moment: a woman striking a neo-Nazi protester with her hand back. This scene became a symbol of resistance against hatred and fanaticism. The image features Danja Lofgren, an elderly woman who survived confinement in a Nazi concentration camp during World War II. Her act was not only emotional but deeply symbolic. It expressed a personal experience of the horrors of Nazism and an uncompromising stance against its resurgence. The photograph quickly spread, becoming one of the most recognizable images of anti-Nazi resistance in Europe, reminding us of the necessity to preserve the memory of the past to prevent such tragedies from occurring again. On March 10, 1950, the Women's Roller Derby League in New York captured the attention of sports enthusiasts with its energy, spectacle, and spirit of competition. This sport, which blended roller racing with contact elements, became popular in the mid-20th century as a dynamic entertainment form combining athletics and showmanship. The Women's League became an innovative phenomenon, providing women the opportunity to compete alongside one another and showcase their strength, agility, and team spirit. In 1961, Annie Lumpkins, a civil rights activist, made history with her courageous act of voting from the city jail in Little Rock, Arkansas. Lumpkins was a member of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, and an active participant in the struggle for voting rights for Black citizens. Her arrest occurred during a protest against racial segregation and the obstacles faced by African Americans in voter registration. Despite being imprisoned, Lumpkins insisted on her right to vote, which became a symbol of resilience and determination in the fight for equality. In 1973, female members of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club represented a unique phenomenon, combining the rebellious spirit of the biker subculture with the fight for independence and equality. These women lived in a male-dominated world but actively participated in club life, sharing a love of freedom, the open road, and motorcycles. They became symbols of rejecting traditional roles characteristic of their era, embodying ideals of freedom, courage, and individuality. By participating in club rides and events, they not only claimed their place in biker culture but also challenged society, advancing ideas of self-expression and strength. Kamako Kimura, a Japanese suffragette, participated in the Women's Suffrage March in New York on October 23, 1917, drawing attention with her traditional kimono. She became a symbol of the global struggle for equality, demonstrating that the women's rights movement extends beyond the West. Her participation highlighted the universality of the quest for justice and the right to vote. In Japan, Kimura was a famous theatrical actress and writer who used her fame to promote feminist ideas. Her involvement on the international stage became an example of a cultural bridge uniting the efforts of women from different countries in the fight for equality. Marina Ginesta, a 17-year-old communist and journalist, became a symbol of the Spanish Civil War thanks to a photograph taken by photographer Juan Guzman. Although Marina acknowledged that she had never fired a weapon, her involvement in the fight against fascism extended beyond combat. She worked as a translator and journalist for the international brigades, helping to cover the events of the war. Anna Fisher entered history as the first mom in space, flying on the Discovery Shuttle in 1984 as part of the STS-51, a mission. She was not only one of NASA's first women astronauts, but also the first female astronaut to venture into space while being a mother. Her mission included the restoration of 2 satellites in orbit, marking an important milestone in space exploration. Fisher embodied a new generation of astronauts, not just professionals but individuals balancing careers with family life. Her example inspired women worldwide, demonstrating that motherhood does not limit opportunities, even in such complex and dangerous fields as space travel. Anna Fisher continued to work at NASA, leaving a significant impact on the history of space research. If you love vintage photographs and want to immerse yourself in the atmosphere of the past, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here you will find unique snapshots, interesting stories, and captivating facts about celebrities and events that have left their mark in history. Support us with a like, so we can continue sharing this amazing collection with you.